Is it early?
All right, let's get right down to it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, the show where we not only talk everything Ravens, but around the NFL. Hope you all are having a good night tonight. Thanks again for tuning in. I've been really excited for this one. Oh, by the way, I'm Gonz. That's Dom, if you don't know already. How you been, Dom? Having a good evening?
It's been a week, man. It's been a great week for Ravens fans. It's been a great week for the flock. It's just been a good week. And then we're just
Let's
ending
go
the week on such a
ahead and
happy
dig in.
note.
All right, so
Let's
obviously
just
we
get
had the
right into
23
it.
NFL
Let's crack it open,
draft
man.
over
Let's
the
get into
weekend,
it.
and that concluded yesterday afternoon with round 7 wrapping up. But before the draft even started, let's rewind back to Thursday night. Hours before round 1 began, Lamar Jackson signs his mega deal, 5 years, $260 million, with yours truly, the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens lock up their guy, making him the highest paid player currently in the NFL. Thoughts?
It's about time. Oh my goodness. Like literally the whole Ravens fans, we have been stressing about this for months, years, decades. He's only been signed to us for a couple of years. The fact that we get the deal done, and I just want to step into the mindset, ownership, and everywhere just to get the feeling of what it was like to finally get this done. It was probably like a monkey off of the back sort of situation that they finally signed Lamar. We finally have our quarterback for the next 5 years at least. I mean, it's just a great feeling to know that we know now who is going to be at the helm. I mean, running with
I
this
love
Todd
it.
Monken offense. I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic that we have him back. Yes, I'm ecstatic that we have him back. I'm just glad that we know for certain we don't have to live in uncertainty anymore because we know he's here. I'm great, man. I'm happy. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the season to start tomorrow.
Did you see the reaction of the fans around the AFC
I'm
North?
ready for it, man.
Oh,
Jeez.
I loved it.
We're in for something big, man. We're in for something big. Everyone in
Yeah.
Maryland probably jumped out of their seats when they finally heard the announcement that he signed. I mean, reports were going around all day saying, oh, man, he's close to signing. I don't know if he is signing. Like, the deal could happen shortly, and then the deal happened that moment. So it's a great feeling to know that we
invested a
know
lot
who's
of
going to be
money
at the
into
helm
it,
this
but
year.
I don't care
And
about
for the
that
next
right
5
now.
years.
Let's
It's
rejoice at the moment. Am I right? And suffer, Steelers, Bengals, Browns fans, because
cool. Yes, let's
he's
absolutely
back,
rejoice.
baby. He's back, and he's coming back with a vengeance. I'm so excited about this season.
The man
No more
is
talk
back.
with contracts. Let's just play football. And we're going to dive into more of this later. After we go over our draft analysis. I'm really ready to dig into all these picks. So,
yes, because the Ravens attacked. I feel like the way the Ravens attacked the draft is very interesting. So
yeah.
I definitely have my 2 cents
So
of
the
the
Ravens
word
came
as far as how they
into
went along with
the
this draft.
2023 NFL draft with 5 selections, ended up finishing with 6 total. They made a trade late in the 7th. So why don't we just start from the top? Why don't we start round 1, pick 22, Zay Flowers out of Boston College, 5'9", I believe. Smaller type of dude. I have a couple things to say, but I'm going to let you start on this one, and then you let me go first on Trenton Simpson. How about that?
All right, Zay Flowers. I've seen a couple of highlights from Zay. I've seen a lot of explosive plays. He seems like he's a guy who can go over the middle of the field, make dynamic catches, not afraid of contact. He seems like the kind of guy who, we can trust in certain situations. He didn't have really great quarterback play, according to a couple of analysts. So that's probably why Boston College didn't really succeed to the expectation that Zay was playing at. But, I mean, from what I've seen so far, he seems like a really great receiver, very dynamic, can go out there and get it when he needs to. The type of guy who's just, his route running is super crisp. I've seen a couple of routes he's ran. He's really good at that. I mean, I don't know. I think we got a dog. I mean, I really do think we have a dog in Zay. I mean, I feel like he's just gonna go out there. He's gonna go get us some yards. His rack is crazy. Like he goes crazy on rack. Like the run after catch is crazy. So I'm excited to see what he can do, especially with Lamar at the helm, with a better quarterback than what he's used to playing with. I mean, shoot. I mean, I think he's gonna be great next to Odell, especially like getting advice from Odell, advice from Nelson Aguilar, getting mentored like from 2 vet receivers. I mean, I think we got a beast, man. I think that was a great pick by the Ravens. I know that you differ in that pick. I know that wasn't your first, but I mean, as far as the pick is concerned, I think we got a
mad
dog.
at the pick at all. Because obviously we do need wide receivers. We said it many times. Odell Beckham should not be the last upgrade we made, and obviously the Ravens thought the same thing because they go ahead and picked him at 22. Now my only concern with this is we passed up on top tier corners. Now they did slide to round 2, but Now here's my concern about Zay Flowers a little bit. And I did some research on him, and he did struggle with some of these things. The height is a little concerning. And I did hear that he did struggle with wide open drops, which is another infamous trait that Baltimore wide receivers have unfortunately got over the past few years. Now, he does play, bigger than his size. I do agree with you on that. He can go up and get the ball. Route running's fine, but, I'm wondering, and maybe I'm just being a little bit negative, I'm wondering if this is a upgraded form of Hollywood Brown. I really, really would have got more excited for Quentin Johnston, the bigger body, about 6'3", because that's who Baltimore needs. We need a big body, right? A big go up and get it. We need a Mark Andrews at wide receiver. That's who we need. Somebody with, height, can body people, take the ball away. Now I'm hopefully Zay Flowers could do a lot of that for us because he does make a couple physical plays, but it's just overall the 5'9", it's a little concerning. Everything, it seems like Baltimore likes to draft these kind of guys. Going back to Hollywood Brown, Devin Duvernay's not the biggest guy ever either. Bateman, I believe, was a little bit bigger. Bateman, I believe, is 6'1". But I was just a little bit – I really was sold that they were going to go for a cornerback. I really thought they were going to, fill that need. But I'm not mad at the pick. I'm hoping all the doubts I have about Zay Flowers, I hope that I'm wrong about every single one of them. He goes out there and balls out and gets 1,000 yards. And like you also said, the run after catch is very special also. I do love that because he can take a short 5-yard gain and turn it into a 50-yard gain or a 60-yard gain. So I'm excited about that. And he can, attack the sideline pretty well as well, along with the rest of those things, which is also what we need. So I'm not mad at the pick by any means. I just was caught off guard a little bit. That's all. I am feeling now, however, after, watching some tape on him after the, the pick on Thursday, I am feeling better about the pick than I was. Because I didn't really know much about him.
Okay.
You know, came from Boston College. They don't seem like a very good football school. But doing some research, he did have some good matchups. I think he had a game against Sauce Gardner at one point. I may be wrong on that. I thought he had a matchup with Sauce Gardner and did pretty good. But I'm feeling better about it, and I hope he balls out and can be that wide receiver 3 slot guy that we've been looking for. So let's go, Zay. Come on, let's go ball out. No doubt.
I think
no doubt that Lamar Jackson is going to have better weapons now than he has last year. Yeah. We have already upgraded. Now the issue is just make sure we stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's the thing here. No injuries. Let's stay healthy and let's go dominate. All right.
Absolutely. Let's get to it. Okay, so next up on the list, we got our main man at pick 3 from round 3, pick 86, if I'm not mistaken, Trent Simpson.
This pick very interesting, actually.
I'm gonna let you start this one off. This one
I thought for sure they were gonna go DB. I was waiting for them to select a cornerback, and when they selected inside linebacker, I was shocked. I really was, because we don't really need one at this point unless they have plans for none other than the man himself, PQ. I think that this is a scary pick if you're PQ, because PQ as in Patrick Queen, if you guys don't know. I think it's just a little bit scary for him because this dude is very similar to him. Good blitzer, very quick to the ball, just like Queen. So I wonder, and Queen said this too. Queen sent out a tweet like a couple minutes after Simpson was selected in the 3rd round. Sheesh. Remember that? He knows. And he plays the weak side linebacker in a 4-3 scheme, which is exactly what Mike McDonald likes to run. So that is exactly what Pat Queen plays. So you just wonder, Now, another cool thing about him, James is saying Queen is gone. Maybe. It's looking like it. I know, unfortunately for Dom and some of the other Ravens fans out there that have enjoyed Patrick Queen, growing with Roquan, I think he has a good chance of possibly being dealt. I really do, because this guy is pretty good. He also can play different spots on the field. He can blitz from the edge also. And I also saw him line up at the cornerback spot, slot cornerback. Did you see some of those, Dom? That's crazy. This dude can do some things around the field. Oh, yeah? He did? James says Patrick Queen had scrubbed his social media of Ravens things. Interesting. We all know how that happens, or how that works sometimes. So something's brewing. But anyway, so this guy can play around the football field. He can play middle linebacker. He can blitz from the edge. He can even take some snaps at the slot cornerback position, which is fantastic. We can be very versatile with this dude. And I also saw that he can play good. He plays pretty good matching up against tight ends, which is another great thing that we need. So we can potentially have 2 guys that match up well with tight ends, that being Kyle Hamilton, our 1st-round pick from last year, and Trenton Simpson. So I'm excited about this guy's versatility. And I saw we drafted him, I believe. What was the pick number again, Dom? Was it 86? 86, that's right. And I saw that Mel Kiper,
I believe
the draft
86,
guy,
yes.
ranked this guy at 35. So obviously Eric DeCosta was using that typical Ravens best player available logic when selecting him. So I'm not mad at the pick. That just means, Patrick Queen might be in trouble. Now, whether we trade him for somebody awesome, that's, like I said, I'd be okay with that. But it'll be interesting, especially if we decide to keep all 3. But bottom line is, how you doing tonight, Yippee? That was a very interesting pick, and I feel like the upside on this guy can be very large, and I'm excited about him. You know how we like our inside linebackers in Baltimore, so I'm excited about it.
I am.
What you think?
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I mean, the guy, he seems like super talented. He can play at any position on the field. I mean, prototype type dude like this. I mean, I'm not mad at the Ravens for taking the best available. Obviously, he was best available at that point. But, I mean, I don't know how I feel, me personally, about a PQ deal, only because, like, man, I really wanted to see like, a full year of Queen and Roquan together. Like, that was really my vision for this year. Um, I don't really want to see PQ go. And I know I probably sound crazy when I say this because we're like, bro, look what we just got. But like, but I don't know, man. I don't really want to see PQ go. I mean, I just feel like his upside could be good for us. I mean, next to Roquan, I feel it's like when Roquan and him were together, they were like, it was top tier play from both sides and from like both angles from them. I really don't want to see PQ go. I mean, but I mean, Simpson's a beast. I mean, I've seen some tape. He's a problem, especially blitzing, because pressure is another thing we had an issue with last year. We did not get a lot of pressure, and like if Simpson can help with that, I can't get mad at that at all. I mean, this guy seems like he's a freak of nature the way he just comes at the quarterback sometimes, come with the blitz. So I can't get mad at that. If he benefits us, I imagine like if we do keep Queen, having all three of them on the field, that would be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I don't know if it could happen. Will it happen? I don't know, but that would be great to see just all three of them going ham out there on the field. But I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen. If PQ does go, I mean, I appreciate him. I'm sure we all appreciate for what he's done since he's been drafted. Great player on off the field. But no, I mean, the Simpson pick, it just caught me by surprise because I honestly thought Ravens were going DB with that pick. I mean, I felt like it was a no-brainer that they were going DB with that pick, but to pick up Simpson and to just keep like getting the linebacker core together, I mean, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with taking the best available. And I mean, if he was ranked way higher on people's draft boards than when he was taken, I mean, that's a steal. I mean, we'll take a steal because we want to improve. But the Ravens, I don't want to see PQ go. But again, like if Simpson does what he does to help us improve, help us get to the quarterback coverage, get better in coverage, then I can't get mad at that at all. But I envision that hopefully all three of them can get utilized on the field. I don't know if it can happen, but
I don't know. The deciding factor could be
I don't want to
the coverage. How good will he hold up between tight ends? Because I know Queen had major issues struggling in coverage. Maybe not as much this year, but other years. Oh my gosh, he could not cover anybody down the field. Running backs would blow by him. I always think of the Josh Allen run from last year when, Patrick Queen had a free shot on him and Josh Allen just did a spin move, left him in the dust, scored the touchdown. Because that's what Queen does a lot. At least the old Queen used to, would just head-on charge, right? Somebody open lane to a tackle, whether that be a running back or quarterback, and then they would just sidestep, and Queen would just be flailing, missing. And that was so, so frustrating. I was face-palming after that Buffalo touchdown with Josh Allen. I'm like, come on, dude. You gotta contain him. You can't just bull rush. I mean, that's something they teach back in flag football, right? Back in flag football, don't rush, because they have free rushers on the quarterback. Don't just, sprint out because all the quarterbacks do is step up. Same type of thing. Like, come on, you gotta be a little bit, more aware. Let me say that. So yeah, this will be interesting. If we can keep all three this year, like you said, that'd be awesome. But if not, expect Baltimore to make a move in the next few weeks. All right. So yeah, that was it. That was interesting, but exciting. All right, we can go ahead and move on to round 4, and this was another interesting pick. I thought edge rusher, on pick 124 in the 4th round, edge rusher out of Ole Miss, Tavius Robinson, and this guy. And a lot of other people said this as well. This guy is very versatile, and reminds us of the Pernell McPhee and Zadarius Smith picks from previous years. This guy is an edge rusher primarily, but he also can play on the inside of the defensive line, which is awesome. So we could flip him around and keep some edge rushers on the left side and swing him into the middle next to a big guy like Travis Jones. So that's awesome that he can do different stances, like, the edge rush stance, or put both hands down like he's in the middle of the field. So that's exciting. I don't remember. We haven't gotten somebody that can do that for a while, probably since Zadarius Smith, or Zadarius Smith was a pick back in 2015, I think, 24. Yeah. So, that's exciting.
I think so, yeah.
This guy can get after the quarterback. I did watch some nice highlights on him. He can cause fumbles. I believe he led his conference. Yeah, he did, with 5 forced fumbles last year, which is awesome because we always love our turnovers. And this guy's pretty good. His size, he's about 250 pounds, 6'6". So he's got the wingspan to be a good edge rusher. And even DaCosta himself compared him to Zadarius Smith. I'm looking at it right now. So that's awesome. I'm excited about this guy, especially moving him around with inside and outside and the big frame he's got.
He seems like a really good.
I like the pick. But again, no cornerback. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, he seems like a really good pick. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He's a really good pick. And, yep, I do agree. I would rather us keep Pat as well. I hope he does stay. As far as Robinson, I mean, He seems like a beast. I believe he finished his career at Ole Miss with about 12.5 sacks. He gets after him. I mean, he seems like a really good guy on the field. I mean, I just think the Ravens are making a good move at staying young at the edge rusher position. Like, with Justin Houston not really being on the team anymore, he is a free agent. So we don't have him anymore. So it's good to know that we're getting younger, with Ojabo, with Owe, with our new linebacker coach that we just got. I mean, I think, Robinson, along with those two guys, if they all can lean off each other, that would be fantastic. Michael Pierce should be back this year. He had the injury last year with big Travis Jones. I mean, I don't really see him not having an impact, especially if he can bat down some passes on the line. That would be nice too, because we never really been doing that. I know JPP was pretty decent at that when he was on the squad, but again, he's now a free agent as well. So yeah, he definitely helps with the pass rush. And I'm glad that we're addressing the fact that we did not do good with pressure last year, as I mentioned before. So the fact that we're getting these guys, hopefully Ojabo can play a full year. I mean, if they're all on the line together, this could be a defensive line to be reckoned with, especially with Pierce coming back. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do. With McDonald's defense, who proved himself last year. I think he did a fantastic job last year, first year as defensive coordinator. With the young guys that he's getting, I think this is a great addition to the team. And he, this is the first, I never really heard of this guy at first until we drafted him. So the fact that we drafted him made me do my research on him. But, I mean, like you said before, he knows how to get after it. He gets to the quarterback, and I'm hoping that he can do the same. Because we have some quarterbacks in the AFC who like to run. We know for a fact we have quarterbacks who like to run. I don't want to bring up the horrible Joe Burrow incident when he was ducking and dodging all of us as we were trying to get to him, and it was freaking crazy. But that's neither here nor there. So hopefully he can add to an already progressing.
I didn't really do a lot of homework on these, prospects coming into the draft. So all these guys that were selected, I went and I did, watch some film on them on YouTube, and it was a lot of fun. It's fun learning about these guys because you get to see their impact and, what positions they play, seeing how they match up against, top tier people also. Like our next guy coming up at round 5, Caillou Blue Kelly in the 5th round. Finally, we get a cornerback. Yes. Yeah.
Took us a while.
Surprising. So we got Caillou Blue Kelly coming out of Stanford, I believe. Am I correct on that? Is it Stanford? Yeah. Cornerback for Stanford. And he played all 4 years in Stanford, too. So he's got a full college career. His father also played in the NFL, so, following the family footsteps. That's good. The size is okay. He's 6'1". I believe his weight is in the 190s. I don't have it in front of me. So pretty good size for the corner. His speed is not that great, at least from the combine. The 40-yard, it was close to a 4.5, I think. So not super, super fast, but, I don't really care too much about speed if you can play tight defense. And obviously, the draft doesn't tell all, end all be all, because you may have a slip up at the combine, and, that might not accurately depict how fast you are, or, whatever trait you have. So you can't go too hard on the combine. But pretty tall guy. Now, I did watch his game or highlights from the game against Drake London, because Drake London, as we all know, is a superstar receiver now, top 10 pick of last year for the Falcons, and he held his own against that guy, a big body frame. Drake London wasn't able to get too much going with him on the field. He even got an interception too, even though it was a deflection, I believe, tip pass that got intercepted. But that's good. If you can do that against top prospects in the draft, that bodes well for you in the NFL, because everybody you play is going to be considered a top prospect now that you're in the big league. So, yeah, this guy could be decent for us. I don't know if he'll be – I don't think we'll see too much of him this year, aside from special teams, unless, God forbid, we have another rash of injuries. I hope that doesn't happen. So, yeah, he could be – maybe he could be a rotational type of guy, but I primarily think we will see him mainly on special teams.
Yeah. So with Kelly, I mean, he finished his last year at Stanford, 26 solo tackles, 6 pass deflections last year with Stanford. I'm not saying that he got any picks that year, but like you said before, his Senior Bowl performance was definitely otherworldly. Shut down Drake
okay,
London.
That's what that was from.
Literally,
All
he
right,
was a first-round pick. Yeah, Senior Bowl, yes. Yeah, so, he didn't have flashes during his season at college, but he definitely showed what he can do in the Senior Bowl. So, I mean, I think this is great that the Ravens got him. He's definitely someone to keep an eye on. Total career at Stanford, he finished with 147 total tackles, 23 pass deflections, and just 3 interceptions throughout his whole college career. So he seems like more of a, I mean, pick-wise, I probably won't expect much from him, but as far as, being a disruptor in the field, stopping those, maybe those deep passes, that would be nice to see. But yeah, he seems like a really great prospect. He was very
excited. Yes, I heard about that.
He's also developing a video game, which is very, yeah. He's also helping develop a video game, which is very interesting to me. So, but yeah, he seems like a really great guy. He seems like he's going to be great for our defense, especially with learning from Marlowe. Since without Peters right now, Marlowe is technically our veteran presence in the DB room. So, well, as far as corner is concerned, so learning from him and just getting better, I think he's going to be good. Who knows? I mean, if we don't re-sign Peters and we go after another veteran corner, which I expect the Ravens to do, because in free agency, there's still a lot of people left to be able to be scooped up. Yeah. So he's going to add a lot to the team. Again, this is another player who kind of slipped under my radar as far as the draft this year, but it seems the Ravens knew what they were doing. Surprising that they didn't decide to grab one of those late round guys who slipped later in the draft. Obviously, as far as Joey Porter, because we didn't have that second pick, we didn't have a second round pick. We weren't going to get him. I already knew it. If we weren't going to get him with our first pick, I knew we weren't going to get him unless we traded back up. So the Steelers snapped him with their first pick in the second round, of course. So now we have a force to be reckoned with.
I hope we destroy him. I hope we cook him.
With Joey Porter Jr., it's going to be some
I did read up on Joey Porter a little bit, by the way. He does have a knack for holding and getting called for, interference and stuff. He does a lot of grabbing. His game could, consists of grabbing a defender or grabbing a wide receiver. So I hope he grabs and gets flagged 20 times a game.
Yeah, he's a physical guy. So the Steelers snapped him.
They did.
Before I move on to the Steelers had a really sneaky good draft this year. Sneaky good. We will do, and we will discuss that a little more. But they had a sneaky good draft this year.
They did.
I got to give credit where credit's due. They did really good this year as far as the draft is concerned. But yeah, they did good. I know I'm anti-Steelers all day.
Yeah.
But I mean, like as far as what they did this year in the draft, I got to give credit. I mean, they had a sneaky good one. The players that they got and the value that they got him at, it's crazy to me. It really is. But yeah, as far as Kelly is concerned, I think he's going to be great. Just another versatile weapon that we can add on that secondary with Hamilton developing, Marcus Williams in the safety spots, Marlowe. I mean, who knows?
Agree.
Let's see how he does when the season
looking
starts.
forward to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So on to the 5th round pick. The 6th round pick. My apologies. At pick 6 and round 6, pick 199. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this man's name because I feel that'd be kind of disrespectful. So I'm just going to call him Salah. We picked Salah, offensive tackle, round 6, pick 199. I'm not mad at, to the extent that we lost Ben Powers, so we were gonna want to add depth. To that offensive line. Salah's a huge dude, man. Salah's huge.
Yeah.
And he moves quick for a big guy. Like I don't know if you saw like the tape. He moves pretty. He knocks people over, and he's so quick for a big guy. He moves. And I don't have his exact weight on me. I don't know exactly how big he is, but dude can move. Like I saw, like not only did I see the highlight from when the draft was going on, but I looked into this guy. He can move. So I mean, I saw a guy like that on this line that we know we like to run. So I mean,
and you know how the Ravens
like
to pull their guards too,
him on the team.
which is exactly what we like. And if he can move and barrel people over, that'd be great.
Yeah. This guy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the field. Like he's just a big guy who's going to cause problems. Yeah. He can get out there, especially if Lamar's out there doing like QB runs. He can get out there.
So I like this. I don't mind this pick either.
So
I feel like they're preparing for the future with this guy. I see he is actually 6'5" and 317. So he's a pretty big dude. Especially, I wouldn't want to get hit by him when you're, when he's moving, when he's pulling. But another guy would be, I really hope we don't have to see too much of him this year. Obviously, because, that would mean we'd have to get injured. So he could definitely develop behind these guys that we have at tackle. Ronnie Stanley. Or they have him listed as tackle, but he could play guard. Yeah, which is great. So he could be.
He plays multiple positions.
He could be like our Pat McCary.
I mean,
our backup to because Pat McCary is very versatile as well, playing all the positions: left tackle, right tackle, guard. So that's good. I like that. And it says that he, like you said, thrives in a powerful run game, which is also what we like to do. I did see him match up against some Georgia linemen, and he did get take it down a little bit because, when you play Georgia, all the Georgia defensive line are NFL bound pretty much. The Philadelphia Bulldogs going over there, just drafting everybody from them. But, yeah, so he definitely has room to grow. But as a 6th round pick, he definitely can sit under, the starting offensive line that we got and build up to a potential starter in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's going to be somebody fun to watch.
So moving on to our next pick and final pick. Well, we thought the Ravens were done. And, they were having their post-draft conference right after the 6th round, Eric DaCosta. And he said, well, we're pretty much done. Well, possibly, maybe not. And it ended up being true. We ended up trading with the Cleveland Browns for a 2024 6th round pick, I believe. To trade into the 7th round to pick number 229 and select out of USC offensive lineman Andrew Voorhees. I hope I'm saying that right. The interesting that jumps out about this dude tore his ACL at the combine, but he still went and did the bench press afterwards with the cast on and everything, and he did 38 reps, which was the best out of the
and won it.
Best out of the combine.
And he won
so
it.
This dude, he's got some strength and some toughness. Tore his knee up and went out and did the best he could do out of everybody on the bench press. That's pretty impressive. And I believe we were talking about this earlier this week, that his value is way up there at healthy, about maybe third round or so, third or fourth.
He was put up way earlier.
So this guy,
third
if he
round,
can,
I believe, late second,
successfully
early third, I believe.
Heal from this injury, he could be a potential starter very soon, maybe as soon as next year or the year after. He is, that is awesome.
This guy,
while injured,
the fact that you do 38
amazing.
reps.
He goes at 6'6" tall, 310 pounds. Another bigger guy, just like who the Ravens like. I always love when we get the big type of linemen, because they fill up gaps and fill up space, and they could do really good on double team blocks. Just clog up the middle with the big meat y'all got, So I love it. I don't mind it at all, actually. I was disappointed at first, but I didn't do any research on him. And after looking at him and seeing that his value is actually way better than we got him, only because of the injury he fell, this is not a bad pick. It's typical Ravens trading their draft picks, acquiring more.
No.
Just when you thought the Ravens were done, they went ahead and surprised everybody. Well, surprised but not surprised, because it is the Ravens. Getting that extra guy, drafting the guy who's hurt, sort of like the Ojabo situation last year. Will probably be on IR the whole year, and then next year he could ball out.
Yeah. It sucks that we're not going to see him this year. I mean, maybe we're not going to see him this year, because we did think we were going to see Ojabo last year, and he came. So I mean, we don't know, but I mean, depends on how hard he's working. He could be back maybe late into the year, especially if we make a postseason run. But yeah, no, I was excited when we got this, only because the fact that he's definitely a steal in the draft. Sure. I mean, I don't mind giving up the 6th next year if that means we got this guy. So I'm good with that. His draft stock was way up. According to a lot of analysts, his draft stock was way up than where he was drafted at. And literally the only reason why he slid was because of his injury. But even I think the day of the draft, literally, he sent a note out. His doctor sent a note out to all teams saying that, he's going to make a full recovery and he's going to be able to participate soon with no limitations. So that's great to see that he's going to be back hopefully pretty soon after tearing his ACL, and be able to make a statement.
Can't go wrong with offensive line.
We're going to need him. We are going to need him.
Offense starts with good blocking. So
can never go wrong.
So that was a need that we got. So overall grade for the Ravens, they filled most of their needs except corner. Well, they did get, obviously they did get Caillou Blue, but so I would say they provided depth for corner, but did they solve the corner problem or patch it up? Not yet. I think they need to go out and sign somebody, whether that be Rock Yassin or Marcus Peters, bring him back on a cheaper deal. And that would make me feel better about the cornerback room, because that would make us with 1, 2, 3, at least 6 or 7. So we would have Marlon Humphrey at 1, the veteran, either Rock or Marcus or whoever at 2. We got Brandon Stevens, Jalen Armour Davis, who needs to step up this year also. I know he dealt with injuries, but he had a rough 4 games last year at the beginning of the year. Pepe Williams had a couple good plays last year. I liked seeing from him. So that is 5 right there. And now Caillou Blue, that's 6. So we do have some cornerbacks here. And obviously whoever undrafted free agents, I haven't looked into that, but the Ravens were busy with signing undrafted free agents. I also saw, here's a nugget, they signed the Bowie State quarterback. I don't know I forgot his name, but they signed the Bowie State quarterback as an undrafted free agent. So that was pretty cool. So we'll see how that pans out. But expect the Ravens, and even Eric Acosta said this too, to expect a signing in a few weeks for a veteran corner, especially with all the money that we saved up for, Lamar's contract.
Yeah.
So we have over $30 million in cap space. That's plenty of room to make a move.
Deal.
Plenty of room. Even plenty of room to go sign D-Hop if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In all seriousness, they got corners out there available to, fill in the gap. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, sorry, I went off on a little tangent, but back to the question, draft grade overall, I would give the Ravens a solid B+, maybe B+. They addressed needs except the corner, but they did get best player available, inside linebacker, and a versatile edge rusher out of Ole Miss and more, and some quality O linemen for the future. So yeah, I'll give it a solid B.
Yeah, I give it a B+. I mean, especially with these undrafted free agent signings coming out of draft weekend. Key signings. I mean, we did sign 2 corners. Corey Mayfield Jr. out of UTSA and Jeremy Lucien from Vanderbilt. 2 corners that we signed from the draft. And a notable signing also straight out of Maryland.
I heard about that as well.
Receiver Dante Demas Jr. coming out of Maryland. So I think that's a solid signing. A lot of Ravens fans were pushing for us to sign the other Maryland receiver who didn't get drafted. I believe his name was Raheem Jarrett, if I'm remembering correctly. A lot of Ravens fans were pushing for him to get signed. I believe he signed elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the signings that we had with the draft that we had, I think we had a pretty great. I feel like, of course, the highlight of the offseason so far was Lamar signing. But I think we had a great draft weekend. I mean, I definitely give the Ravens a B+ effort. It's just to see now how we fill in those remaining gaps as far as like veteran corner. Do we get Peters back? Does Peter come back on like a 1-year deal? Vet minimum just to go get us a bowl. That would be nice.
Over Rock,
if we were to sign any veteran corner, I would want it to be Peters. I mean, like, obviously with Rock you get a little more, but I mean with Peters it's just that he's used to us by now. It's nothing new. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't perfect he wasn't perfect when he's on the field, but he's still like that. He's still our enforcer. I see Marcus Peters as our enforcer on the defense. Like he's, if anybody's going to get bucked with the other team, it's going to be him. And we need that kind of guy on the field, like who's going to be like, don't mess with us, don't mess with me,
I wouldn't
don't mess
mind
with
that.
them.
I
We
really
need that
wouldn't
guy.
mind that.
And
But he does need to play better.
I mean,
and now he would have a full, healthy offseason. He should be closer to normal. I know he's getting a little older. He's probably around 30 or 31 by now. But, at least we don't have to play Zay Jones again next year, I'm hoping. Oh, that was quite a showing for Marcus Peters, that Jacksonville game. Ugh. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Peters because, like you said, he knows the system. I just hope they just need to get somebody, 100% a veteran corner, and that would make you feel a lot better where the team's at,
they do.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm really excited. I really hope now that they've drafted these guys, I really don't think they need to sign Justin Houston or Jason Pierre-Paul. Now, if we're struggling to get pressure through the first few weeks, then maybe you could sign somebody off the street, just to provide a little boost. But I think starting the season, because we got the preseason coming up, training camp, I don't think we need to worry about that right now. Justin Houston, Jason Pierre-Paul, I think we're good for now. A big for now. So let's go ahead and focus on patching up the secondary a little bit more. And then I think this squad is set to make a run. They really are going into the 2023 season, signing their quarterback, upgrading the offensive weapons and the coordinator, a new philosophy. I'm excited. The Ravens have done a lot of things to break out of their shell this year that they're, used to and normal. So I'm hoping they can break out of their shell in the regular season, stop losing playoff games. Let's go ahead and get to the conference championship or the Super Bowl. I think they have the team to do it. They just got to stay healthy.
I agree. I don't see why they can't do it. I mean, lot of teams, obviously, teams are going to get better. A lot of teams in the AFC
Yeah, I
got
mean,
better.
starting with the division, I
But I mean,
would
I don't see
say
how he
that
can do it.
they are right on
I
par with
don't. There's not a
Cincinnati.
lot of
They
teams.
really are. Yes. Well, yeah, of course, of course.
With
Cincinnati,
Lamar at the helm.
Joe
Yeah.
Burrow and
With
T.
Lamar
Higgins and
there,
Jamar
we are right
Chase.
there. Yeah, we are
Speaking
right
of
there
Joe
with them.
Burrow, he's going to be asking for a huge paycheck coming up. So Bengals, good luck. I don't think you're going to be able to keep all three of your dudes, T. Higgins, Jamar, and Burrow. So obviously Burrow's they're not going to let him walk.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to make a decision between Chase and Higgins. But anyway, back to this year, they're going to have all three. I think the Ravens are right on par with them as with the squad that they sit at the moment. Browns, yes, they made some improvements, but and Watson's going to have a full season. But I think we can beat them. They aren't. I don't think they're that threatening. They are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Watson when he was with the Texans didn't really scare me. I feel like
Yeah.
we made quick work of him when he was on the Texans. Even then, I mean, I know the Texans weren't like, oh my goodness, like star breakers, but I mean, he didn't really. I mean, even this year when he came back last year, he wasn't doing anything that was like shocking. Like he wasn't great when he came back. I mean, I know he has a little bit of an excuse because he wasn't playing in the first half, pretty much more than the first half of the season. But even those last couple of games, like he wasn't spectacular. So we'll see what he does when he gets a full camp, full offseason,
Yeah, they
full
scored
preseason to
13
work.
on us, and we
But
lost.
I mean, I'm not really
And won.
scared of the Browns.
That should not. If they score 13 on us this
really
year, we're winning the game. I guarantee it. Unless we have the same thing as last year with injuries, which I'm praying we don't.
They don't scare me.
I don't think they've done enough to improve to, be like they're a real threat. Maybe I'm wrong, but just looking on paper right now, which is all we can do, I don't think so. And yes, you said the Steelers had a nice draft. Yes, they got a left tackle to protect Kenny Pickett blindside. And Darnell Washington is a nice pickup at tight end to, be a compliment to Freiermuth. But, at the end of the day, it's Kenny Pickett. I just don't think he's that guy yet. I know people are like, oh, Kenny Pickett. Like, don't forget, last year people were disappointed, and I'm talking Steelers fans, were disappointed about them drafting Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis. So now they're kind of turning the bandwagon a little bit. But back to the topic,
Poor
I
Malik,
don't
man.
know if they've done enough either. And
Poor Malik.
yeah, I feel like there's still a team working in progress. Yes, they got Joey Porter, and that'll help the secondary. But they're still kind of finding themselves. Last year was a rebuild, and they still did it. They still did pretty good, went 9-8. I don't think they're going to be better than that, but they're going to be around making noise by the end of the year. I think they have a better chance to make noise than the Browns do, definitely. But I just don't think the Steelers are going to do enough to make them feel threatening. Yeah. But I predict another 9-8 or 8-9 season for them. And we could do a lot more talking with that when the schedule comes out in a few weeks too. But anyway, it's between Baltimore and the Bengals right now, and if we can knock them off, we can take the division and go from there. Yeah, gosh,
we owe the Bengals some get back. This has to be the year. We owe the Bengals some get back. This is the year. If hopefully if Lamar stays healthy, like we can get back because they barely beat us by the way, but they did beat us last year. Lamar, I mean,
yes,
that Lamar had to come back and tell everybody who he is, and if you have your money, you have the weapons. The Ravens have shown that they want to surround you with people who can make plays. The draft went well.
Agree.
This is now. It's now at this point. You know what I mean?
Go get it done.
This is the year.
Go get it done.
Set everybody up.
You got the pieces around you now. You got Zay Flowers, Odell, Nelson Aguilar, Bateman, Andrews, Likely, Gus Edwards in the backfield, J.K. Dobbins, a solid O-line, decent, or at least decent, with Ronnie Stanley protecting your blind side. Go do it. Okay? All these guys that beat us at the end of the year last year scored under 20 points on offense. Okay? Well, aside from the Bengals, on that Week 17 game. Yeah, or Week 18 game. But we had Anthony Brown. I ain't too much about it for the playoffs anyway. So we weren't trying our hearts out. Even in the playoff game, they scored 17. I don't care what you say. That fumble was terrible and bull crap. That they scored 17. All the teams that beat us scored less than 20. Yeah. We get the offense ironed out, we're winning all those games that we lost. That Steelers game on Sunday night would have been an easy win. Easy win. We scored 13. It's just pathetic. Yeah. It was 9-13 going into the 2-minute warning. I mean, just we get an offense, we're winning all these games. And speaking of the Steelers, we actually beat them in Pittsburgh with our third-string backup. Another reason why they shouldn't be taken too seriously right now. I'm hoping I don't eat my words. But anyway, this team has got the pieces to make a run. So just go do it. Go do it.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get They do. Yeah. I'm hoping to see flashes of 2019 Lamar. I'm ready for the Jackson 5s. I'm ready for the times where we put up 30 or 40. Like, I'm ready for those games. I'm ready for those years again. And I'm hoping that now with what we have, that, we go out there and go get it. Like, we have the team for it. Well, let's go prove it.
And we're kind of taking a minute to dream on in the future season here. But on May the 11th, the NFL announced that the official schedule will be dropping, so we can go ahead and reminisce even more when that comes out and do our game-by-game predictions. I know, Dom, we can't wait for that. That's going to be so fun. That's going to be a great show. We hope you're there for it. But as for tonight, I think we can wrap up a little bit. We've gone over a lot. Signed Lamar, went over the draft pick, tied it all together, and this team can go do something. So I think we can go ahead and sign out here. Dom, any last remarks before we close out?
Yes, AG.11. I know we
scored
guys
13 points. If you're not winning that with our offense this year, if it's improved, okay? Like, no, just.
We're hoping that flips this year, AG.
We got the best of them in Pittsburgh with a third-string QB, putting up 16 points, and so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So, but anyway,
yeah. So, but no, that's all I have, man. Look forward to let us guys know your thoughts. What do you think the Ravens do? How do you think the Ravens did in the draft? Do you think they deserve the B+? Should it be higher?
Yeah,
Should it be lower?
and if you guys like the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Have a great night, everybody. This is Dom and Gonz signing out.